Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are most welcome to the locker room right here on Top 6 Fan TV. It's been a while since we've been around, but we're back. Premier League is as exciting as ever, and we have Jonah and Manzi to catch up with the results from the weekend. But we also have the Champions League draws that just came out today, and we'll get right into the action after this.
Bukayo Saka! Anthony! Salah, that's beautiful from a Bane! There goes Haaland. He's on.
Fantastic. You are most welcome yet again. Manzi, United fan, Jonah, Liverpool fan, as you can see, and I will be hoisting the Arsenal flag high today. And of course, catching up with the action. But before we actually jump into that, hit the subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. If you're catching the show for the first time, drop a comment and we'll be happy to read through it. And of course, you can also drop a like as well, and we'll be happy to get back to you. But jumping into the action from a very interesting weekend in the Premier League, and we're starting at no other venue apart from Anfield, ladies and gentlemen. Manchester United visiting Liverpool at Anfield. They shared the spoils, nil-nil, kicking off with Mr. Manzi. What was your take on the game? Because we all, well, not myself, but a lot of people thought it was going to be a thrashing, 7-0, 5-0, 3-0 to Liverpool. What did Ten Hag do right in this one?
Yes, thank you, Matthew. Yesterday's game was quite interesting. It had some interesting spells. For it to end 0-0, I think there could have been some goals in it. Ten Hag came to defend. I think for United, the draw was celebrated like a win. Yes, I'm among the people that expected a thrashing from Liverpool. So I would say it's more about what Liverpool didn't do than what United did. I think Liverpool were very poor. I was very disappointed. I think looking at Alexander-Arnold, he had some like nice shots and crosses, but he was not clinical. Even Salah, I think he's growing old. He was not as clinical as I expected. Onana made some good saves, like about 2-3 saves that could have been goals. So I think United came with the mentality of just park the bus. Even the shots on target were like one, if I remember any. Try and play well. And also another thing I realized in that game is it's like when you have Varane, he it quite gives those guys confidence in defense. And that pairing, I think, led to United's defense being solid. So I was shocked that we didn't concede. But what shocked me even more was how dismal Liverpool's performance was. It's like they were not on it. If it was another day, the result could have been totally different. Yeah.
Very interesting you mentioned Varane, because that was also one of my observations around, just more stable. United just look more composed at the back with
Yeah.
Varane in there. And if, let's say, then for me, just stick Varane in there. But Jonah, your take on the game: missed chance for Liverpool, or were United? Did United park the bus, or rather, three buses?
Definitely, United prepared very well for the game. And I think Klopp knew that coming to the game. He talked about how usually when we're going to play them, they come in with a bad run of form, and the media makes it seem like they're going to be destroyed, which in any competitor's mind would make you prepare very well. And I think Ten Hag did that very well. But like Manzi said, I think we were on our own enemies. We defeated ourselves because we got the chances. We had the possession. United wasn't poor, but they weren't exceptional.
Yeah.
We just weren't on it. You could tell even the atmosphere in the stadium was off. There was certain tension, which I think came from the fact that everyone thought we were going to destroy them. So when it didn't happen in the first 10 minutes, I think the pressure got to the players, it got to the fans. Everyone was now, we were shooting from distance because they talk about 30 something shots, but only how many were on target? Was it only like 8 were on target? And even those 8 that were on target, Onana didn't make exceptional saves. Some of them, if not almost all of them, were direct. So really, the players were just off.
Yeah. It was 34 shots, 8 on target. United had 6
like that's just
on target.
it's not even half. That's less than half.
Yeah,
that means most of the shots were just
that's
wild.
A quarter. They were just wild.
Yeah, they were wild, and it shows you that the players were on some pressure of we have to kill these guys. When the killing wasn't happening, it got to their heads.
Yeah.
That is what you call pressure. But I would like to say, as much as Liverpool missed their chances, Man United were definitely. Ten Hag came with one. I know he was saying he's setting up to win in these pre matches, pre conference. Pre match conferences and his press submissions. But the man came making sure that setting up the team to make sure that they did not lose. So I've never seen United that compact, but obviously they have acknowledged that they've been going through a poor run of form, and the result for me was not surprising. But Liverpool, obviously, a missed opportunity, and as we'll see from the likes of Arsenal, who who actually managed to get maximum points and go back to the table, it has set the scene quite nicely for the game next weekend. Manzi, your take on that match coming up? Arsenal visiting Anfield next weekend.
Speaking about that reminded me of maybe another thing that led to United's win. By win, I mean draw. Arsenal guys were supporting United. My God, as in even on more pressure than the United fans. So
my guy, Kapapula.
Thank you very much for the support. I know you didn't expect us to beat them for you, but I think the draw works well in your favor.
More guys bet, man. There's guys that gain their Kapapula, man. First team Kapapula.
So now you guys
Christmas time, man. Guys.
Going to Liverpool, man. I can only speak about what basing on yesterday's game, Sunday's game, and I think Arsenal are a bit more clinical. As in, these days, Saka is good. Has he always been good? I don't know, but Saka does things that I'm like, hey, Saka used to be fake, but he's effective. He gains like serious crosses. Just the other guys who can't finish. Odegaard wants to score like after 20 fake, those things of as if. Then you pass the point when it becomes too acute, so he never shoots. But I was shocked that Havertz also played well. So I think, and you have Jesus, and it will be his birthday. So Arsenal might. I don't want Arsenal to win, but on paper they look the better team. Liverpool, on the other hand, without the press, like Jonah has said, without the stress in their heads, the players, they might play freely and then cane Arsenal like 5. So this one is it can go either way.
Jonah, your take on that one? The result next weekend, same result, draw, or Anfield erupts?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't know if Arsenal's had a high-scoring game against a big team this season. Arteta comes into these games very cautious, and now you're on top. If we had gone into this game and we are on top, it would have been different. But we're going into it with you guys on top. Ateta is going to enter very cautious, and like Manzi said, they are more clinical than us. They don't need 36 shots, 8 on target to get a goal. They need 1 or 2. They need you guys need 1 or 2, and you know you're at Anfield. You know what being an Anfield has done to you in the past. So Ateta will come very cautious, and that doesn't play into Klopp's hands very well. He wants a team that's going to come at him. In fact, when we're watching the Man U game, some of my Liverpool boys were telling me maybe they should first score us. That's usually when we wake up. We wake up when someone scores us. But coming against you guys this weekend, we are entering under more pressure. I think we are more desperate for the win, being a home game, being that we dropped points against United when we shouldn't have. Arteta would be very fine with a draw. So he's going to be very cautious. But I think coming into it, it's different from United. Like, we won't come in being the favorites. So that's kind of different. But I still think it's going to be a bit tough, basing on all the things I've said.
Yes, I hear an alarm going off, man. Looks like Jonah, I hope you're not going to be thugged, man, when you see that one. Stay safe, man. Stay safe. But anyway, moving on. Great game it's going to be next week. I think it will be tight. I expect if there's a winner, it will be 2-1. I don't know who it will be yet. It will swing either
Matthew,
way.
you don't know who it will be, and who do you want it to be?
My friend, you see, Man United fans need to learn one thing from Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
We have been where you have been, and so we have developed thick skin and a bit more realistic in certain things. So we go into certain games. That front 4, front 5 of Liverpool is not a joke. And if Virgil van Dijk and Konate are back together, for me, and of course you see Trent Alexander is on fire now offensively. He's just something else. That shot against United that he missed, everyone, even Onana didn't move. He just knew that one was in, so he just kept curling away from the goal. Very unlucky for Liverpool. It's going to be an interesting game, but Arsenal, of course, securing the points there against Brighton. Very dominant display. 2 goals there. Kai Havertz continues to score. Gabriel Jesus, obviously, with the opener. Jonah, Kai Havertz for you. Compare him to the first 4-5 matches, and his last 4 matches late. I mean, he's starting to deliver the goods. He's starting to deliver the goods. But what's your take on?
I think he has settled in. I think in the beginning there was a lot of pressure. Not that the price tag was very high, but there was a lot of pressure from the media that he should have hit the ground running. Arteta managed that well, and now he's having his impact. He's scoring some vital goals, which will give him a lot of confidence. I don't think he's a bad player, but I also don't think he's a world beater, which is probably what the expectation was. Actually, I don't think so. I don't think Arsenal fans thought he was, a player who's going to change the whole game. Like, you knew he was different. He had his dynamism, but there was a sudden expectation. Obviously, rival fans had their pressure, and that pressure probably got to him. But now I think he has settled well. Yeah.
Manzi.
Yeah.
I think, Jonah, you've gone on mute.
I don't know. I think he's
No.
done.
I was done.
All right. Fantastic. All right. And Manzi, just very quickly here. Kai Havertz versus Mason Mount. Who has added more value to their respective teams?
Man, how can you ask such a question? Mason Mount has been absolutely useless. Definitely Kai Havertz. But I think he's just improving. Again, not being in the spotlight, not being the main striker. You have Jesus, who's already good. You have Saka, who can score. Odegaard. You have more players who can score. So Havertz, and I just had a stat, while watching the game, that he's been scoring in the last minutes of the game. So I think the commentator in that match said he grows towards the end of the game. When guys are getting tired for him is now when I think he's more lethal. So I think he has scored 4 in the last, like after 80 minutes or after 75 minutes, something like that. So yeah, I'm with Jonah. He's good. He's okay. He's not, going to be like a world golden boot or scoring too many goals. But and Arsenal doesn't score many goals. They score 1-0, 2-0, 1-0. If they have scored too many, it's like 3. So when you have few goals, the people who score the goals matter more. So he's done well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Comment here from me, Mighty Joffy. I hope I've read that correct. He says, I've come to feel that scores fast at the of past Naye when it came to Man U recently, we seemed too cautious and then got frustrated in the end. I'm thankful we came out with a draw. Obviously, Man United fan there, Joffy, thanks for that comment. Very relieved that they were not beaten up on. Keep the comments coming, people watching us live. Thank you very, very much for that. And we'll definitely be kicking off, of course, another Man United fan here. Aubrey Agava saying, did you guys see Mourinho's comments? It's City and pull at it. Sorry, man. Matt, reference to the title challenge. He doesn't think Arsenal are in it at all. We will see at Anfield next weekend what happens. But of course, for now, Aubrey, please do enjoy the elephant atop the tree. And moving on to the other results there, Chelsea also getting back on track after a tough run of results for them. And of course, Pochettino has been blowing hot and cold, but they managed to get a 2-0 result against Sheffield at Stamford Bridge there. Goals coming in from Cole Palmer, great connection there with Raheem Sterling, and then Mr. Nicholas Jackson there coming in with the second goal. And I mean, there's not much to add about Chelsea. They are below United. We obviously see that their form is below par. And we'll see. They continue to blow hot and cold. They're not in the title race. But for me, this game was the big one here. Crystal Palace going to the Etihad and coming away with a draw. 2-2, it finished there. Last-minute penalty for Crystal Palace from Michael Olise after Jean-Philippe Mateta, or Teta as they call him, had put in the first goal for Crystal Palace. Jonah, your take on this draw for Manchester City? Does it dent their title hopes? If anything, they're off to the World Club Cup, where they will, they'll obviously not play a couple of Premier League games. So by the time they come back, they could be over 10 points, probably 10, say just slightly less than 10 points adrift of the top. Is that too big to catch up with, a gap for them to catch up with, considering KDB is back, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Like Man City is Man City, guys. Never believe that Man City is not in it. Those guys have traumatized me enough times. When you think you've gone, they will find a way. They can decide to win every game from Jan on.
From Jan,
and the rest of us will draw points. They can decide to do it. They're those guys. And KDB is back, so you can never count Man City out. You just can never do that.
Manzi, your take on your neighbors, the noisy neighbors. Do you expect them to come back flying?
I'm with Jonah on this, man. Me, I'm just waiting for the time when Pep will leave our league and we go back to normal, because Man City it's just dangerous. Like anytime you think they're losing points, not winning games, they just switch it on and off when they want. KDB is back, so expect more goals. It's a very difficult question. City versus Liverpool versus Arsenal. At the moment, Arsenal has the upper hand. If they also decide not to lose again, Arsenal will win the league, right? But City, I think when it comes to the business end of the league, those last like 10 games, when guys don't have the mental fortitude and strength to win all those 10 games, City just comes and beats guys 5-0, 5-0 for the next 10 games, and then then they win the league. So man, I'm just waiting for Pep to first leave EPL, and then we balance out the boat.
We balance. Pep and KDB need to retire, man. We'll handle Haaland a bit, but man, those two, I don't know. Yeah, so basically, as you can see, there's some comments still coming in. Mighty Joffy, they're saying, despite hearing that KDB is back, he loved seeing Roy Hodgson smile at the final whistle. And as you can see, people enjoying that result there. Man City dropping points. Spurs were the first ones to kick off the action on Friday. They came up with a 2-0 win away at Forest. Richarlison continuing his rich vein of recent form, and then Kulusevski coming in. Yeah, Jonah, your take on Spurs. Do you think they'll come back, especially when they have a few players out injured, but when Maddison, I think, is the key. When Maddison comes back, because they have quite a bit of a settled defense. Maddison and their the center back, I forget his name, the Dutch guy, Van de something.
Van de
Ven
Ven.
is solid. Yeah, but your take on Spurs?
Yeah, I think Spurs, once their guys come back properly, they're going to definitely create a problem. Some of us are losing players to AFCON. And in that period, going back to Man City will pick up points, Spurs will pick up points, Aston Villa is there. So they're going to be teams that will disrupt the competition in terms of guys challenging for the trophy. And Spurs is one of those. Yeah, I agree.
Man, Matthew, Spurs, those guys had even given them my my support at the beginning of the season when they were firing on all cylinders. They have like about 4 or 5 games unbeaten. They were on top, but those guys disappointed me. They have a very, very inconsistent defense. I like Son. He can score all the goals he likes. He's very good up front. Richarlison is on form now. I think he's scored maybe in 2 consecutive games. Yodan was telling us earlier about Kulusevski, who's also very good in terms. He's on form, assist and goal. But I think the biggest problem for Premier League teams these days is consistency. To have, that Arsenal unbeaten run, have 49 games without anyone just coming to disturb you. So you can have 7 games, you win, then you lose 4. Then yeah, Spurs, I was disappointed. So my heart was broken by Spurs. I don't think they'll finish anywhere. They'll finish maybe top 6.
We'll see what happens with Man United, hopefully picking up steam. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Champions League draw. Last 16 results are out today. That is who your team will be facing from the teams in the top 6. Porto, Arsenal got Porto, and Manchester City having an easy one at Copenhagen, although Copenhagen did give Man United a bloody loss in the group stages. The other British teams are obviously being knocked. But that's it. What's your take on that, Manzi, or rather Jonah, your take on the draw? Favorable for the British teams?
I think both British teams go through. Arsenal, easy draw. City, even easier draw. Dortmund will go through as well. PSG will go through. Barcelona will probably drop out. That will be the shock. Atletico versus Inter is also going to be interesting. Don't know who will go through there. Bayern goes through. Real Madrid goes through. Yeah.
Fantastic. Manzi, your take?
Yeah, it's not a been given weak teams, so the strong teams go through. Then maybe at last 8 they'll face each other. So you don't have anything like City versus Bayern, or you don't have like Real versus Arsenal. So that will happen in the last 8. Yeah. But hey,
Fantastic.
man,
And that's it.
what a Premier League teams are only 2. What up?
Man, things are bloody. You ask your boys
Things
there
are too bloody.
at Carrington. Carrington, man, you couldn't even make it to
You
Europa.
guys embarrassed us, man. You and Newcastle embarrassed us.
You guys,
Wait,
you
as
United
we
guys
have
are
to
supposed
turn
to
it
be.
upside down. To see our thing
It's a,
properly, you have to turn the table upside down.
you have to turn the table upside down. That's a good one. Man United fan here, Aubrey saying most boring last 16
Yeah,
draw.
I
Most
agree with
fixtures
Aubrey.
look
It's
obvious.
too boring.
I agree. There's really
Too
nothing
boring.
exciting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from Inter Atletico, I think it's going to be a good one. PSG not really survived, so I can tip a shocker there. Real Sociedad over PSG. I don't know. PSG are not looking very convincing under Luis Enrique. But yeah, we'll leave it at that for this week, ladies and gentlemen. We have to wrap it up.
Yep.
Thank you very much for jumping in. Manzi and Jonah, thank you very much. Audience in there, Mighty Joffy, Aubrey, thank you for dropping your comments in. Anyone else watching, feel free to hit the like button, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and we will be back after the Christmas break for this particular show. But of course, the channel will continue to churn out some content. Have a great rest of the week and happy holidays, ladies and gentlemen. Bye bye.